Kell Brook?
He said 157 he'll fight you.
I think he's too small.
Too small?
Too small, yeah. My focus on 160 in middle division right now. Kell Brook or everybody just trash talk,
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? I promised myself that I would go ahead and take this day off and get some rest and not drop any videos today. But here I am going against my word. I was about to go to sleep and I said, let me go ahead and drop this video real quick. I got a couple more videos that I plan on doing tomorrow. And just to let you guys know once again, yes, the documentary is still coming. Still working on it. It's going to be really, really nice. You guys just going to have to wait because, this is going to be done right. This documentary is going to be done right. It's called Number One in the Nation. It is going to be the best boxing documentary you guys have ever seen. All right, so hopefully it'll be done, I'm going to say within probably another 2-3 weeks. All right, so with that out the way, let's talk about Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. First things first, man, I want to say congratulations to Golovkin for annihilating Dominic Wade. Regardless of the opponent, this is what I said. I said it in my post-fight video and I'll say it again. Even though Dominic Wade, he was no Andre Ward, he was no Danny Jacobs, he was no Edeslani Lara, it was Golovkin's mandatory. And when you have a guy that's not on your level, that's what you're supposed to do to them. You are supposed to annihilate them, dominate them, right? Regardless if it's an early knockout, a late knockout, or just a dominant 12-round decision. It's supposed to be a dominant performance when you're in the ring with a guy that is nowhere near on your level. You're not supposed to struggle with the guy for 12 rounds the way Roman Gonzalez did against William Arroyo. Okay? I'll talk more about that Roman Gonzalez situation in my Roman Gonzalez pound for pound the best fighter in the world video. So let's get back to Golovkin. Now I know a lot of fans are criticizing Golovkin for fighting Dominic Wade, saying that he's not on Golovkin's level and he shouldn't have been in the ring with Golovkin. But to Golovkin's defense, this was his mandatory. Okay? He had to fight the guy or they were going to strip him. So you can't really blame Golovkin on that. But on the other hand, when you hear Gennady Golovkin, like you guys just heard in that clip that I played at the beginning of this video, when you hear Golovkin say something that completely contradicts what he has said in the past, then that aspect of the situation is Golovkin's fault. When Gennady Golovkin calls out Floyd Money Mayweather and he says he's willing to go all the way down to 154 to fight Floyd Mayweather, but he won't fight Kell Brook at 157, that is a clear contradiction, if I ever heard one. I mean, one more time, I have to reiterate. You're willing to fight Floyd Mayweather at 154, but you're not willing to fight Kell Brook at 157? How does that make sense? And guys, I've been telling you guys for quite some time that I truly believe that the best welterweight in the welterweight division right now is Kell Brook. I've been saying that for quite some time. Okay? Now, for you guys to really understand the magnitude of what Golovkin just said, we're going to put everything that has been transpiring in the proper perspective. And I'll start it with a series of questions. Now, I want you to remove weight classes for just a quick second. And I want to ask you this. Who is better, Kell Brook or Dominic Wade? Who's better, Erislandy Lara or Willie Monroe? Who's better, Andre Ward or David Lemieux? Who's better, James DeGale or Martin Murray? Now, granted, guys, once again, to Golovkin's defense, he wants to fight against the Danny Jacobs and the Billy Joe Saunders. To his credit, Golovkin wants to fight those guys, and those would be great matchups. That would be, in the words of Virgil Hunter, that would be a big step up compared to what we've been seeing right now. That's what Virgil Hunter just recently said in one of my previous interview videos. So if Golovkin were to get those guys in the ring, I would love to see those fights. Those are great fights. And those are the type of fights that Golovkin needs. But the question is, what if those guys don't get in the ring? And you have about 4 other fighters that have been raising their hand for the longest. Their arm is sore. They didn't have their hand raised for so damn long. Right? So going back to my series of questions, assuming that Billy Joe Saunders and Danny Jacobs, they decline an offer to fight Golovkin next, why is it all of those fighters I mentioned, and you guys already know the answer to the question, which fighters are better, right? Andre Ward, DeGale, Kell Brook now, Erislandy Lara. Do you guys think it is merely a coincidence that all of these fighters that happen to be better than the fighters that Golovkin has already beat are the fighters that Gennady Golovkin has an excuse why he doesn't want to fight them? Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Once again, if Kell Brook is better than Dominic Wade. Now, we know Golovkin had to fight Dominic Wade, because it was his mandatory. But once again, his mandatory is out of the way now. So now it's up to Golovkin to pick and choose who he wants to fight next. Once again, Kell Brook is willing to go to 157, but Golovkin will fight Floyd at 154, and he says that Kell Brook is too small. How does that make sense? Erislandy Lara, think about this for a second. This just makes all the sense in the world. If Golovkin can come close to selling out the Inglewood Forum in Los Angeles, right? I don't know what the numbers are going to be when it comes to the TV ratings. I'm sure it'll definitely do over 1 million. It would be a failure if it doesn't do over 1 million. We're talking about Golovkin damn near selling out arenas in LA. But just look at the success. If Golovkin can do that against a relatively unknown Dominic Wade, what type of numbers do you think he would do against an Erislandy Lara, who has already fought on pay-per-view, who arguably beat Canelo Alvarez? And then it also gives fans a gauge. It gives us a barometer to just see how Golovkin would do with the same opponent that was in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. So once again, the question is, if they are trying to build on top of the Gennady Golovkin brand, if you can't get Billy Joe Saunders or Danny Jacobs in the ring next, why wouldn't you go after an Erislandy Lara? We already know the fight would be much bigger than a Dominic Wade, Willie Monroe fight. Why not go after Kell Brook, the best welterweight in the world, who's willing to move all the way up to 157 to fight the best middleweight in the world? You have a fighter that has a huge UK fan base. You have a fighter who is, once again, one more time, arguably the best welterweight in the world right now. And you have a fighter that is skillfully better than probably anyone. No, I'm not even going to say probably. He is skillfully better than anyone that Golovkin has ever faced before. Once again, do you guys think it is just a coincidence that Golovkin is saying that Kell Brook is too small? The guy who is better than Dominic Wade? The guy that is better than Willie Monroe? Better than David Lemieux? Now all of a sudden he's too small? How is Kell Brook too small when he's bigger and most likely stronger than Floyd Mayweather? What are you really saying, Golovkin? You're saying you only want to fight Floyd Mayweather because he's way too small? It's a hell of an admission if you really think about it. It is a hell of an admission. So, these things are not adding up, guys. These things are not adding up. There's no doubt about it. Golovkin has fighters that are avoiding him. But there's also no doubt about it that he has tons of fighters that want to fight him at the same time. Right? I mean, I want you guys to think about this in the most simplest analogy. If you're single and you're going out, let's say you're at the club and some badass chick, she diss you, are you going to stop looking for other bad chicks to talk to? Are you just going to say, oh, you know what, since that one badass chick didn't want to talk to me, I'm going to just start getting at ugly ass chicks now? Are you going to say something like that? No, you're going to still pursue some of the baddest chicks that you see, right? That you come across. So it's the same thing with Gennady Golovkin. If you're looking for the baddest opponent out there, and that opponent doesn't want to fight you, you go out and you look for the next baddest opponent. You don't now just say, oh, since I can't get Canelo Alvarez, I'm just going to now, just look for the weakest opposition available. No, it doesn't work that way. There are plenty fish in the sea in every damn way. All right? And there are plenty of sharks in the sea. Golovkin ain't the only one. There are plenty of big ass fish in the sea. So, yeah, man, it's not making sense. Golovkin is 34 years old, and the best name on his resume is who? Dominic Wade? David Lemieux? Martin Murray? Marco Antonio Rubio? Willie Monroe? I mean, you pick one. Now, at age 22, that would have been a hell of a resume. Hell, at age 25, that would have been a decent resume. But at age 34, Golovkin is running out of time. And, I really hope that Golovkin can at least get Billy Joe Saunders in the ring. Because, once again, Danny Jacobs, that's the fight I really want to see. I truly believe Danny Jacobs, he matches up with Golovkin very well. But by listening to Danny Jacobs' interviews, he personally does not want the fight. Okay? And I don't blame that on, that doesn't have anything to do with Al Heyman or anything like that, because Al Heyman they were the ones that put Dominic Wade in the ring. This is something that Danny Jacobs personally is not interested in. He's not interested in the Golovkin fight. And it's a shame, because I believe that that's a 50-50 fight. So anyway, moving on to Billy Joe Saunders. Who knows? Before this fight, Saunders, he was talking about, if you want to fight me, it has to be in the UK. Now, Golovkin's people, they're saying they're willing to go to the UK which it makes sense. It makes sense to have a fight like that in the UK. But after Golovkin annihilating Dominic Wade like that, and you're talking about a fighter like Saunders who was already hesitant to get in the ring before this fight, let's just say there's a very good chance that Saunders may say, you know what, I've been thinking about it and I changed my mind. There's a very good possibility he could say something, or he would say something like that. Or he will say something. It wouldn't surprise anyone. It's funny how you have these fans, or some people in the media, they'll try to make it seem like Golovkin is just the most avoided fighter, etc., etc. And that is complete BS. Yeah, he has fighters that are avoiding him, but he has just as many fighters that want to fight him. And it doesn't make sense when you're claiming, or when some people are claiming that you're the most avoided fighter out there, and you have about 4 or 5 fighters that are willing to get in the ring, at least willing to negotiate, if nothing else. And you say, you know what, I don't want to fight any of the guys that actually want to fight me, but I want to fight these guys right here that don't want to fight me. That doesn't make any sense. And it means that you are no more avoided than anyone else in the sport of boxing. You know what avoided is? Avoided is Guillermo Rigondeaux. That is the boogeyman, okay? That's the man that boxers, they see in their nightmares, okay? That's not the case with Gennady Golovkin. Think about it for a second. Why do you have welterweights that want to fight Gennady Golovkin? You have welterweights, super welterweights, right? And of course you have the super middleweights that want to fight him. So the man is not that avoided. Lara, Kell Brook, Andre Ward, James DeGale. These are all fighters that want to fight Gennady Golovkin. And you know what, guys? Honestly, and I'll probably do a separate video about it, but I started to throw Gilberto Ramirez in that mix as well. But you know what? After I interviewed Gilberto Ramirez, I'm real good at reading people's body language and how they answer the question. And the way Ramirez answered the question when I asked him, I said, so Bob Arum, he wants to put you in the ring with Gennady Golovkin. And the way Ramirez said it, he was like, yeah, I'm ready for everyone. I'm ready for everyone. It didn't sound convincing to me. So I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I truly believe that Gilberto Ramirez, he doesn't want to get in the ring with Golovkin. By reading his body language and how he responded, he didn't sound like he was too crazy about Gennady Golovkin getting in the ring with him. Because if you really felt you could beat Golovkin, he would have jumped all over that. Oh man, I want Golovkin next. That's who I want. Because Golovkin is being promoted as the next big thing, if not the current big thing. He's undefeated. You have some people even calling Golovkin pound for pound the best fighter in the world, right? So if Ramirez knew he could beat that guy, he wouldn't have even had to wait for a reporter to ask him, do you want to fight Golovkin? I mean, just think about it for a second, guys. Imagine if Errol Spence was at the super middleweight division, right? And he just won the super middleweight title. And the biggest name, one of the biggest names in his area code was Triple G. On top of it, Triple G is a middleweight that has to come up to Errol Spence. Keep in mind, guys, the reason why I use Errol Spence as an example is because Errol Spence, while nobody wanted to fight Keith Thurman, Errol Spence was calling out Keith Thurman. He was calling out Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, and then he said, man, Not only will I fight the big bad boogeyman at welterweight, I'll even go up to 154 and fight Canelo Alvarez, who rehydrates to 170, 180. Right? So the point that I'm making is, yeah, I don't think Gilberto Ramirez wants that fight. So, anyway, going back to Gennady Golovkin. Saying that Kell Brook is too small, it sounds ridiculous. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is, once again, what we do here is we speak the truth. This is not about dissing anyone. This is about speaking the truth. All right? A microphone and a camera is one of the most dangerous weapons in the sport of boxing. All I do is press record, and if you're going to dig yourself in a hole, hey, I'm just going to let you do it. But you can't blame me for recording it. Okay? If you're going to say something that is going to make you look extremely hypocritical, you dug that hole. Not me. Right? Not the writer that quoted what you said. None of them did it. You did it. You guys are the ones that provide the job security. Right? So, bottom line, man, is, once again, Golovkin is 34 years old. I really just want to see this man step up in competition. We know he wants the Canelo fight. Canelo's not going to fight Golovkin. He's not going to fight Golovkin. Just like Golovkin is never going to fight Andre Ward. Even though Abel Sanchez just told me last week they'll go all the way up to 172 to fight Froch, but they're not going to fight the winner of Ward versus Kovalev at 172. Right? These are things that we just know. These are things that we just know. So, let's see what happens, man. Golovkin is 34 years old. I just want to see him step up in competition. I just want to see how good he is, because we really can't tell how good he is against Dominic Wade, can we? You got Canelo, say whatever you want to say about Canelo, but Canelo did make a good point when he just recently said, man, look at who I fought at age 25. And Golovkin is 34 years old, and look who he just fought. That's what Canelo said. Sergey Kovalev just recently said in the round table. Shout out to my man Boxing Ego. You could catch those interviews on his channel. Matter of fact, in the interview with Boxing Ego, Sergey Kovalev, he basically said that Golovkin hasn't really fought anyone. You guys have to understand something. Sergey Kovalev is one of Golovkin's biggest allies. And even he's criticizing Gennady Golovkin's resume. You guys already seen the video I did where there were tons of boxers and trainers. They talk about how good of a fighter Golovkin is, but they just want to see him step up in competition so they can see how good he is. All the way from Russian fighters like Matt Karabov to Teddy Atlas. Now you have Kovalev on that list, etc., etc., etc. Oh, but according to the decafs, black people can't criticize Golovkin, right? Only non-black people can criticize him. Because when black people do it, then they're called code words like racist. But some of these racist decafs, they don't even use code words. They just come flat out and call you some of the most racist shit in the world. But for the racists that are trying to be politically correct, they'll just call black people racist. That's a safer way to get around them being called racist their damn selves. We know what time it is. So anyway, everyone else, they can criticize Golovkin. But us on the coincidental list, we're not supposed to say anything. Shit. Y'all got the wrong one if y'all believe that's gonna happen on this channel. Cause I don't give a damn how you take it. You could call me whatever racist shit you wanna call me. But you gonna get this work. And you gonna get the whole truth. Let me go ahead and close out with my favorite quote. Love without truth is hypocrisy. And truth without love is brutality. In other words, the truth hurts. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.
Janita, what's going on?
Foul.
Janita?
That is foul.
Did you look at the intro? Have you seen it yet?
Yes, actually, they sent it to me on Snapchat.
It's dope.
You know what? Yes.
You liked it?
Yes.
They're loving it. And you got a great personality.
What can I do to get it so I can post it?
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, I emailed it to you already.
I didn't get it. Do you mind sending it again?
Yeah. I'll email it. You want me to email it or? There you go. There she goes. Super celebrity already. Did my best intro.
It.
No, I got a lot of people that did the intro. They love yours. So
Yay,
there it is.
you guys.
So I'll definitely send it to you, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Good to see you.
So good seeing you always. Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi guys, do not forget to follow me on Instagram at Gennady. Wait, sorry.
It's all good.
Hi guys, do not forget to follow me on Instagram at official Gennady K.
Let me see. Let me see it.
Oh, look
yeah.
at you.
Hey, they might
Dante.
Okay.
Hey.
Dante.
2, 3.
It's a brand new. It's a brand new Instagram because she got hers hacked. So this is a brand new one, guys. All right. There it is. All right. There we go.
Don't forget to follow me, guys. You too, Dante.
You know I will.